So I was talking earlier about like taking an idea as far as something that maybe I haven't learned in a literal sense, and making up my own thing out of it. And I was also talking about learning some things absolutely note for note. So here's a lick that combines both of those things, and I don't really know where it came from because I was just kind of, a lot of these things come from just like sitting around the house and noodling around, but there's a B.B. King on Live at the Regal. I think it's in C sharp. Sweet Little Angel. It's too much source. Something like that, right? But the opening is right. So there's that. There's also this guitar solo in a song by Steely Dan called Kid Charlemagne, and I learned how to play it one time a long time ago, and I couldn't play you any of it right now. But I do know that he starts out, Larry Carlton starts out with a lick that's something like some kind of thing like that, where he's just sliding into a note and then playing across the strings up on the next two strings up. So somehow I came up with this. So I took the literal, which is the literal B.B. King lick. So let's go to, we'll go to key of B. So there's the B.B. King part, and then I took the Larry Carlton idea. Somehow it just came out one day from having learned that solo. So I'm thinking, well, I never got anything out. I learned the solo, spent all this time on it, never got anything out of it. Well, lo and behold, a couple years later, here comes this thing flying out of nowhere. So the literal lip part, right, so it's just diminished. Right, so I got a lick that I took right off a record. And then I got a phrase that has stuck with me that I had learned by listening to somebody else play a phrase, but it's not the exact thing. So when you put that all together, right, so it makes a nice little thing, and you can phrase it all kinds of different ways. Right, so there's that one, and there's one more, and I'm going to finish up with this. So the Larry Carlton thing, so that's a literal and a conceptual things that are mashed up together. Does that make sense? You see what I'm saying? Like I took something exactly note for note and combined it with something else that was just lurking around in my psyche and in my heart that I had learned off of a record. So I was also sitting around my house noodling around one day, and this kind of came out. And this is, once again, a mixed Lydian thing. Let's say we're in the key of D. There's your Curtis Mayfield chord. It's out of tune, but it doesn't matter, right? And so our mixed Lydian scale that we learned down here, or that you guys probably already knew it, but we were talking about. So the Larry Carlton phrase came out again. Now, there's no literal thing that I learned off of a record here, but the phrase came out again. Right, so it makes you sound all fancy, but it's really just all the notes out of the scale. It's D chord, right? And that's the G sus. C arpeggio, D7 arpeggio. So when you play that, see if I can. So next time you getting into that world, you know, you can kind of spice it up once again and get beyond. You know, you can get beyond all of that kind of stuff. You know, so two worlds collide. You know, a jazzy thing from a Steely Dan song and some Jerry Garcia, you know, rammed together somehow. But I want to thank everybody for coming. And and I hope that some of this has made sense. And it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. So if it does to you, then mission accomplished. But thank you. I really appreciate it.